Okay, today is July 1st, 2019. This is Dr. Joseph Linton. Welcome to Organizational Leadership 650. Hopefully, everyone's had a great day today. This is meeting number 1. It will last for approximately 60 minutes or no more than 60 minutes. I have about 3 participants here. And the good news here is that the 3 of you get to make some decisions this evening. Can you all hear me? And can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Good deal. Okay, good deal. Now I hear more than one person.
Yes, I can.
Okay, good deal. Okay. By way of introduction, I'm Joseph Linton. I've been teaching at St. Mary's since about 2016 when I moved to Minnesota for a few years to handle an assignment that my primary employer sent me to do. I'm now physically located in the Orlando, Florida area, so I'm about 1 hour difference from you all. I've been teaching, since about 2007 or 8, undergraduate and graduate level courses. I absolutely positively have a passion for leadership. I have a passion for teaching. I lead people in the daytime. I have an organization for a technology company that's about 150 people large in 4 different geographic locations. So unfortunately, there may be a time or 2 during this course when I'm actually speaking to you all from a hotel. I will try my best to keep my travel down for the next 8 weeks, but sometimes things happen and I have to get on the road. Those locations are Washington State, Utah, Nebraska, and Florida. So fortunately or unfortunately, that's the way it works out. I earned my Bachelor of Science degree, back in 2002 in electronics management. And that's basically a hybrid course of EE, electronics engineering and business management. I earned my master's degree in science, or a Master of Science in Management in about 2006. And I recently completed my doctorate, Doctor of Business Administration with a concentration in Information Systems Management back in 2017. This is my passion. Again, I can't say that enough. And at some point when I retire from the corporate world or from my own company, I plan to teach college full time. And I think this is the way that life should be taught. And this is the way life should be lived. I plan to intertwine material from the book with my real life experiences. And I'll also ask you all to give me your real life experiences and trust that it will make a difference in your personal life as well as your work life. I have an 18-year-old kid who just completed his first year of college in Minnesota over at Mankato. Again, I moved back to Florida. He chose to stay in Mankato for college, and he's home right now for the summer. So it's one of those situations where if you all are as old as I am, you love to see your kids come home, but you also love to put them back on the airplane and send them back so that the grocery bill goes down and the utility bills go down. Okay, if you will, please, let's take the time to tell me who you are. I need to take a few notes so I know who my audience is. Anybody, go first.
I'll go ahead and go. My name's Miranda Hamlin, and I live in Minnesota. I've lived here my entire life. I was born in Iowa, but I don't tell too many people that because they tend to give me crap for it.
I've driven through Iowa a few times. I understand.
I don't live too far away. I can walk to the border from my house. So I work in Rochester, Minnesota at the Mayo Clinic. I have my bachelor's degree in applied health with an emphasis in healthcare management. And I currently work as a supervisor in the division of epilepsy, managing all of the epilepsy laboratories. And in 3 weeks, I just took a promotion and I'll be an operations manager in the Department of Anesthesiology.
Well, congratulations.
So, yes, thank you. So that's kind of what I do for a living. I have 2 little kids, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old that keep me really, really busy. And me and my husband like to do outdoorsy things. we've been doing, well, he's been doing more of it than me, but getting out on the bike trail and kind of, we have some older jet skis that we've been enjoying this summer, and we've been doing quite a bit of yard work. So that's been fun. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay. Allison, how about you next? And thanks, Miranda.
Hi there. Yep, I'm Allison. I am from La Crosse, Wisconsin. I was born and raised here. I have my bachelor's degree in sport management. My little bit of how I got here, I do not work in sports anymore. I currently work in healthcare. I was working out at the Olympic Training Center out in Colorado Springs. It was the best experience of my life, but my little sister was actually diagnosed with cancer, so I decided to come home. And it has been the best decision I could have made, so I'm really happy about that. Life just kind of takes you on some weird turns. I am hoping, I'm kind of actively looking for new positions. I feel like throughout this program, I feel confident that I'm ready to start applying these skills that I'm learning, and hopefully can find a new position sometime in the near future. No rush, and there's not a whole lot of opportunities in La Crosse, but I am here to stay. My husband owns his own business, and so it is, we're here to stay. So I have 2 dogs. They're my entire world, and whenever I'm not doing homework or working, I am typically doing something with the dogs.
Very good. It's great to meet you. And is this pronounced Anna?
Hi, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Hi, everybody. Sorry I'm a few minutes late. Yeah, I've had class, I think, with everybody on here. My name is Anna Lynn Benson. I am located in Columbus, Ohio. I live in Columbus with my husband and 1 dog, Kona, and 3 cats, Laka, Hilo, and Maui. I think all of you know I'm obsessed with all things Hawaiian. I got married out there, went to school out there for a little bit. Just love Hawaii and looking forward to going back after graduation. I currently work at a startup organization. I've been there for about 9 months now. It's gone really fast. And historically, my work experience has been primarily in home office retail, lots of selling, and mostly in learning and development, although some performance and labor management. So I'm looking forward to this course. I know it's supposed to be a continuation of the previous course, so looking forward to learning more about the value that I can add not only to my team as a leader, but also to the entire organization.
Very good. It's great to meet you. Jacob.
Hi, everybody. I recognize everybody on the chat room. So I'm Jake. I am from Madison, Wisconsin. I was born and raised here. I went to UW-Madison, and I studied political science, sociology, criminal justice, and legal studies. So I was kind of all over the map. So for the last 4.5 years, I've worked at Catholic Charities of Madison, leading and managing various teams to support individuals with developmental disabilities within the community. So I manage anywhere from 12 to about 30 staff at any given point in time, supporting anywhere from 1 to 8 clients remotely. So I do a lot of remote management, which has its own ups and downs. I have 1 dog. His name is Wiley, and we love him quite a bit. So that's
very good.
My name.
Well, Jake, it's nice to meet you.
You as well.
Mark.
Hi, everybody. And Allison, hi from Colorado Springs. I am out here for my niece's softball tournament, spending some family time with extended family, and was touring the Air Force Academy with my son today.
Very
cool. Back home in Minneapolis area.
Isn't it beautiful out there?
My niece.
Isn't it beautiful out there?
Oh my God! I've been out in all areas of Colorado over the last 15 years, a lot of travel back and forth to Phoenix, where my family is, and I love Colorado. But that Colorado Springs has been great the last couple of days, so we've been enjoying it. Back home in Minneapolis, I've been there for quite a while. Worked in law enforcement for 28 years, 4 different departments. Currently a deputy chief for a department. Just been there just a few months here. Actually was looking at leaving law enforcement here about 6 months ago, and left my last job, and then for a variety of reasons decided to get back into it for a few more years. Pension driven for the most part. I have bachelor's in police science and working on master's with all of you folks. I think I've had classes with all of the other students here, and have enjoyed learning from all of you and kind of trying to prepare for my next career, which will start in, well, probably 3 to 5 years now.
Good deal, Mark. It's great to meet you.
Thanks. Nice to meet you too.
McKenna.
Hi. Yeah, so I am McKenna, and I think I've heard this said multiple times, but yeah, I think I recognize everyone on the call. But as you've heard probably multiple times, I'm actually one of the few that's not over where you guys are at. I'm over on the Pacific Coast in Riverside, California, which is like the Inland Empire of Southern California. So I'm always on a different time, and our weather is always different, but you know, it's fun. I currently am a resident instructor and as well as the assistant director of our Residence Life program at a small private school in the area. I actually just took on this assistant role literally today, so it was a summer promotion, which is really exciting, but also I'm excited to continue to be in class and stepping into more of a leadership role, utilizing what I'm learning a little bit more on a professional level and not just with my students. But yeah, I'm married, no kids yet. We've been married for 2 years. We love it out here. We go to Disneyland all the time. It's like our date night because we live pretty close to there. So that's a little bit about me. My undergrad is in business management, and I'm originally from the Phoenix area, Mark. So my parents still live out there, and I'm there quite often too. So, yep.
Well, McKenna, it's great to meet you.
Thank you.
I'm glad to have most of you here tonight. We're going to make a few decisions. I'm going to go over the agenda for the night. We just finished introductions. We're going to talk about meetings. I'm a little flexible in this area. Quite a few students prefer, based on your present cadence, to hold classes every other week versus every week. I'm okay with that. I'm also flexible on time of day that we hold these classes. We have everything from California to Ohio. And forgive me, I think, is Ohio Central Time Zone or Eastern Time Zone?
Eastern Time Zone.
Okay, so we have 3 hours time difference here, so I'm flexible on the time. If for the purposes of this class, I'm the instructor, but you're also my customer. So I'm willing to do whatever we can do to be effective.
Thank you so much for being flexible. That's really reassuring. Like, really appreciate that. Thank you.
Anytime. And this class is organizational effectiveness. And as all of you will learn at some point, flexibility is a beautiful thing in leadership. Doesn't mean lose sight of your objectives. It means that sometimes we have to understand as leaders that there's more than one way to get the job done. So we're going to go through the syllabus review. We're going to talk about some of these tools that I've used throughout my, academic career. I'm going to tell you how I grade papers when I grade papers. I'm going to give you a few helpful hints. We'll talk about the format of these sessions. If we have time, I'll lecture just a little bit tonight, and then we'll do some Q&A. So let's talk about these meetings first of all. How often do you want to meet? Every week or every other week? And unfortunately, those are the only two options here. There is no wrong answer. This is when I need one of you to Okay. How many of you would like
is-
to meet every other week?
Yeah, this is Anna. I'm open either way. I like having the option to do every week, but I also know sometimes that's also challenging to do. So I feel like if we did every other week, I could commit to that. I may not be able to commit to every single week, but I'm open to either one.
Okay. Is there anyone available right now who wants to meet every week?
I think the only thing that would be nice would be in the final weeks where it's like week 6 and 7 is to meet back to back like those weeks, because those are generally weeks with the most
I'm
content.
open to that. I'll tell you that when I'm grading your papers, and I'm probably getting a little ahead of here, I will give you lots of notes. And if you don't receive many notes in the paper, then that's a very, very good thing. And your notes will always be in the comment section. Okay, so we want to do every other week with the exception of 6, 7, and 8. Is that what I heard?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, let me make notes here.
Yeah, that works for me too.
So 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, got it. Okay, so now this is the big one. We have McKenna in California, and we have Anna in Ohio. What time is good for you all? I'm on the East Coast. I wanna give you a time that you can actually meet and be committed to engaging in conversation.
I mean, this time is like 5 o'clock for me right now, and it works pretty well as long as it works with everyone else too.
Yeah, that's good to hear, McKenna. I always think about you when we have assignments because I know you're in the West Coast. Yeah, that works perfect for me, Professor. This time is perfecto.
Okay, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time. Okay, just making notes. Good deal. Let's go through the syllabus. Hopefully everyone's had an opportunity to look at it. And I'm going to touch on a few highlighted areas. Of course, you're in OL 650, Organizational Leadership 650. The class is actually Organizational Effectiveness. It's a 3-hour course, and obviously it's online. I will make changes to this information as appropriate. Looks like I'm deleting weeks 2 and 4, but we will meet every other week. Obviously, all of you figured out that this is the right Zoom information because you're here. I'm Joseph Linton. This is my office number. This is to my personal office number. This is my mobile phone number. This is my email address. Some of you have already taken the time to send me a few emails, and you'll find that I'm very, very responsive. I will make every effort to respond to you within 24 hours. If I don't respond to you within 24 hours, please feel free to call me. It is very, very easy to get me on my mobile phone because I carry it pretty much everywhere I go. One of my students last semester got hold of me while I was out shopping, and the worst case scenario was I told him, give me an hour, I'll be home. I can answer his questions. So do not hesitate to call me if you have questions. Okay?
Thanks for being open on that too. I really, really appreciate the fast response and openness and easy accessibility.
I'll tell you, I've gone to college both online and in classroom sessions. And one of the things that frustrated me most when I took an online class is when my professor wasn't available. Or it took the professor a week to get back to me. And I don't think that's acceptable. I don't think that's effective. So, course description, and I'm going to read to you. I know that you all can read, but I'll read some of these items to you. This course focuses on assessing the overall effectiveness of various organizations and their approaches to change. Students learn how to apply theoretical models to evaluate organizational performance, technique to manage interventions, and methods of evaluating and institutionalizing change. Your last class, if I remember correctly, was organizational change. Is that correct?
Organizational development.
Okay, OD, organizational development, and you all touched on organizational change in there, correct?
Yep.
Okay, good deal. So I'm Dr. Watson. I've known each other for a few years, and he's a pretty good instructor. And this is a good course to build upon that course. The student learning objectives for this class is apply an organizational development model to a design change strategy that may promote organizational effectiveness. Articulate organizational problems at the individual.
If I step away at this point, I'm going to be on that.
Can you go on mute for me, please? Mark? Okay, good deal, good deal. Articulate organizational problems at the individual, group, and organizational levels of analysis. Recommend solutions to address those organizational problems and identify institutionalized evaluation techniques for planned change. You all know how to get to the course, because you've been here for months already. There are 4 required textbooks for this course. Did anyone have any trouble at all getting those textbooks?
Nope.
Nope.
That's a good deal. Okay, this is a list of your peer-reviewed articles that can all be found in the St. Mary's e-library. You have other online resources. And unfortunately, guys, I will bore you with my dissertation because it fits into this class. Okay. Week 1, Introduction to Organizational Effectiveness. This is what I consider to be an easy week. Week 8 is also what I consider to be an easy week, meaning that your requirements are not very time-consuming. We're going to introduce you to org effectiveness, and the rest will be a few videos that you'll watch, and you'll read this article from Right Management. I won't go through each and every week because you'll get a chance to go through each and every week yourself as you go through the course. I'm going to scroll down a little bit here. And we'll go through the assignments that you'll have, which probably are no different than what you've had the previous classes. Discussion board. Please, please, please take the time to put out a thoughtful discussion. Please take the time to do some research before you post. It is most appropriate if you cite material that you've seen in this course or outside the course to support your positions. This is a master's level course, and I absolutely positively love to see master's level writing and thought processes. I ask that your initial post be 200 to 250 words in length, and always, always, always cite your material properly.
Professor,
Responses. Yes.
For 200 to 250 words, is that the minimum, or is that the min and the max?
No. That's your minimum.
Okay.
If you can see my screen, at least.
Perfect.
It's your minimum. Okay. Your responses. Respond to at least 2 people, 2 of your peers. It doesn't have to be the same 2 people who responded to you, but respond and add to the conversation. And please, please, please make sure that you use at least 1 citation for that. However, I prefer 2 citations. I want academic writing. I want academic conversations. You all will see this type of feedback in the papers that you submit to me. Scroll down. Let's go here. You will have 3 application papers due in weeks 3, 5, and 7. You choose an organization. Make it your own. When I was going through these things in master's classes, I did my own organization for every paper. It's the organization I knew best. So why not use it? However, you're free to use any organization you choose. Perhaps you want to use an organization that you aspire to work for one day. That's perfectly fine as well. But make sure that whatever organization you use, you can actually get information, whether it's over the internet, internal documents, or through personal or professional conversations with someone within that organization. But again, these are due weeks 3, 5, and 7, and make sure that you use the same organization for all 3 papers. Now, each of these papers are 6 to 9 pages in length. And those 6 to 9 pages will not include your cover sheet. And yes, I need to see a cover sheet with every submission. It will not include your reference page. 6 to 9 pages of real material. Do not be afraid to go outside of the library and choose your sources. However, I prefer that you don't quote Sports Illustrated or ESPN in these types of papers. I want it to be an academic paper with an academic theme, with an academic writing style. Most of this is self-explanatory, and if you have any questions at all, ask me during this session or just give me a call. Case study. We'll write a 2 to 4 page essay style for your case study, and there will be 3 of those due in weeks 2, 4, and 6. You can find these case studies in your table of contents. I will get 5 emails asking me what pages these are on. But if you look very, very carefully in your table of contents, you'll find all 3 of these case studies. And if by chance you can't find it, then obviously I'll give you the page numbers. Let me make a note here to put the page numbers on the board. Page numbers for case studies. Okay. Shared library assignment. Folks, I consider these the gimmies. Take the time, find an article, a peer-reviewed article, or a YouTube video that speaks to whatever the subject matter is for the week. And that's weeks 2, 4, those will be weeks 2, 4, and 7. And just think of this as you're trying to take the time to educate your peers, or in some cases me. I love to look at these videos because they're always educational. And it's very, very simple. Just find 2 and put them out there. An article, a video, 2 of each, 1 of each, is your choice. The mentoring plan, this is one of the things I actually like. This one I hope will get you to think outside of the box. I've created a few situations out there where hopefully you've never been through these situations with a mentor. And I want to challenge you to think differently, challenge you to be in someone else's shoes just for a little while and think about the world of leadership slightly differently. I think it's pretty cool, and I actually enjoy reading the responses I get in this area. Here you will find your rubrics and the total point value of the course, $6.95. Are there any questions whatsoever about the syllabus at this point?
Nope.
Okay, good deal. Let's get back here. Some of the tools that I found invaluable as a student. Mendeley. You can find it at mendeley.com. It's a very, very nice tool. And for those of you who will go on to get your doctorate after this, it's an invaluable tool because it saves loads of time. You're able to drag and drop a PDF file into Mendeley, and then you can do a word search. So there will be times when your kids are going to get sick. This is reality. There are going to be times when the dog or cat will get sick. This is reality. There'll be a time when you have to travel for business. Things are going to happen over the next 8 weeks. You want to find ways to manage your time very effectively. Drag and drop that PDF file into Mendeley and do your research on the search words, unless you just enjoy reading entire articles. Okay. APA Central. This is another website. I'm a stickler for writing. This school, St. Mary's University of Minnesota, requires that we all write in APA style. Please, please, please take the time to familiarize yourself with that little blue book that you bought and or this website. And please, if no other professor has ever tasked you to do things APA style, I will write APA style. And I will follow that little blue book to the letter. Grammarly. Does anyone use Grammarly?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
Okay,
I do.
And I will take every paper you give me and put it in Grammarly before I grade it, because it helps me grade faster. It's about time management. And it also picks up plagiarism. So please, 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 I ask you, run your paper through Grammarly before you send it to me. Because I'm going to run it through Grammarly. And this will make your life easier and will make your grade better. I sent each of you the general paper template. If you haven't seen it yet, it's also posted in the announcements area. Read that. That's something that you probably should have received during the first course, but if you did not, you have it now. Please, please, please take a read of it and format your papers accordingly. Okay? Mark, if you can go mute for me, that'd be great. Okay, good deal. I will typically grade papers on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So I'm not giving you permission to be late every week, but I am telling you that I typically won't get around to grading papers until Wednesdays and Thursdays. And the reason for that is very simple. Because this is somewhat subjective, I like to be in the same mood when I grade all papers. And so that way my grading is consistent. So Wednesday, Thursdays, you'll start to see my grades. It has, I mean, if it's a busy week for me in terms of traveling, I may not get to it until the weekend. But 80 to 90% of the time, you'll see my grades late Wednesday night, late Thursday night. And again, I will enter notes in the comments area or on the borders of all your papers. Great news, bad news, suggestive hints. I will. These are the hints that will help you get an A in my course. Will help you earn an A in my course. I won't give it away, but if you earn it, it's yours. Become friends with that APA manual. Please, please, please become friends with the APA manual. Whatever you do, run those papers through Grammarly. And I strongly prefer to see no more than 5% unoriginal material in anything that you send me. We're here to think. We're here to learn from each other. This is a great time to do it. So,
what do you mean by that?
Meaning no plagiarism. If you haven't learned to paraphrase yet, and fortunately or unfortunately, I've taken the time to teach some students how to paraphrase. Please, 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 for this course, you'll need to paraphrase. The format of let me take biweekly out and just put meetings. Most students select biweekly, so bear with me. The format will be, I will lecture for no more than 30 minutes, and then I will allow you all to ask any questions that you like about current events, next week's study, last week's study, any questions that you may have from grades that I've already submitted to you. We can talk about anything. And when I'm lecturing, quite often I'm going to ask questions. I want you all to participate. I shouldn't need more than 1 bottle of water in 1 hour. So I'd love to hear you all participate. I'd love to get your opinions. And then we will go through any Q&A that we may have. Any questions about anything so far?
It's really clear. Thank you.
Good deal. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to spend just a few minutes lecturing. Just a few. I believe that this is very, very important organizational leadership for all leaders. Here's a stat, and I will often find something on the internet the day before I teach, because I like to bring new information to the table. Over the past several years, nearly 40% of the top 2,500 global CEOs have been removed from their posts. Can anyone tell me why? 40% of 2,500 global CEOs. Why were they removed? Wild guess, anybody?
Ineffective at leading their teams or gaining trust?
Yeah. The vast majority of them were fired because of failure to execute. And that encompasses what you just told me. The main reasons companies do so poorly at execution is that their leaders have either been unable or unwilling to make a connection between the company's goals and the realities of how those companies actually operate, how the market actually performs, or how their customers' needs can change almost every day. Think about leading an organization without fully understanding the environment. So, organizational effectiveness is the measure of how successfully or not organizations are achieving their missions and advancing their vision through their core strategies. Organizational effectiveness requires that human resources and organizational development efforts tie directly to the desired business outcomes. That also means measuring what matters. If we go back in history, and I'm not sure how old you all are, and I won't tell you how old I am yet, but that picture of me on the website probably gives you a general idea. Think of all the companies that no longer exist today. Years ago, when I was a young man, we had this company called Polaroid. Anyone here old enough to know what a Polaroid is?
Oh,
I
yeah.
know.
I remember as a kid being able to take a picture, and I remember we were fascinated by the idea that we could take a picture, and this camera would make this little noise, and it would spit out a picture that we actually held in our hands, and we could shake it until the picture developed. Nowadays, you can pull your phone out and take a picture and send it to everybody in the world, if you so choose. Polaroid no longer exists. Somebody at Polaroid failed to understand the external forces, the market. Somebody did. Most of you have gone shopping, and this is one of the exercises you will go through. We have some people who love to go to Walmart. We have some people who hate going to Walmart. We have some people with a love-hate relationship with Walmart. And we have some people who prefer to go to Target. I won't talk too much on this one because I want you to think and do your research on this. But later in the course, I've asked you to do an analysis. Tell me the differences between Walmart and Target. Let's go back to another company that failed. Tell me one, rather than me talking. Who can tell me a company that no longer exists, that once held a large portion of market value, market share?
Radio Shack.
Good one. What happened?
I think they
What happened?
failed to recognize the changing electronic market.
Okay. Anyone else with any input on that?
I think
Okay.
even like the name Radio Shack, like, and I still listen to the radio, fewer, much less frequently than I used to, but the term Radio Shack was probably a lot more relevant a decade ago than it is today. So even just the name of it is, they're not selling radios, anymore.
Good observation.
Yeah.
What do you think
Their
internet
online
Radio
presence
Shack?
wasn't there.
Absolutely. You and I are thinking along the same lines. Almost every neighborhood had a Radio Shack at one point. I remember going to Radio Shack. The internet changed the world for almost everybody. What effect do you think Amazon had on Radio Shack? What effect do you think Amazon had on Kmart, Walmart, Publix, and everybody else? Is it my perception, or is Amazon just better at doing some things than perhaps some other companies?
Faster and more convenient, which attributes to like dollar signs or perceived value that the others. I don't have to leave my house, I don't have to pay for gas or be inconvenienced when I need to do other things.
Mm-hmm.
like homework for your master's class?
Yeah, like that, Mark.
Okay, good one. That's a good one. All
But not for this class. I mean,
right.
just kidding.
I'm hoping that this class is fun for you guys. I'm asking you to dig deep sometimes, but I'm hoping it's fun. And at the end of 8 weeks, I think you're gonna look back and hopefully you can say it was worth it. But think about this. You hit it on the head. Amazon. I no longer have to leave my home. I walked downstairs, and this is a true story here. Yesterday, was it yesterday? Sunday. I just made it back to town from Seattle. Actually, I made it back Saturday, but didn't check my laptop on Sunday. And I was going through my email, and I found a $10 coupon. Then I sent the $10 coupon to my 18-year-old son who's home for summer. Sunday afternoon, Amazon dropped a package off on my door. My son spent that money just that quickly. Now, that could be a parenting issue, which is also leadership, but it shows the effectiveness of Amazon. My son knew exactly where to go spend his money and get what he wanted just that quickly without ever leaving the house. It's pretty effective. So unless you just enjoy the lines at Walmart, well, I'm not sure if there's even, do Kmarts exist anymore? The Kmart in my neighborhood is gone. Unless you just enjoy spending time in line, there are many, many ways, other ways to get the products you need. And I don't recognize the voices yet, but you're absolutely correct. Radio Shack. Who buys a radio? Who even listens to the radio anymore?
I mean, I do, but not like 10 years ago. I mean,
Right.
Spotify a lot more.
And I mean, or we have our own playlist, which could be on Spotify. The world has changed.
Yeah, this trip out to Colorado for me, I would turn from one radio station to another, and my son, who's 15, it was digital. It was either the music that was already on his phone or it was Spotify. So even generationally, there's differences on how we address all of those different parts of our lives.
So, as a rule, this is slightly off topic, I usually invest my money with whatever I see my son and his friends doing. Because times change, they are where it's at. So think about this. As a CEO of an organization, which is a very, very tough job, if you're not aware of your external and internal environments, you're not going to be very successful. If you're not aware of what your people need, and this is a part of this subject, part of this class, those people will not be engaged. And a term that if you guys have not learned yet, you will learn later, effective commitment. If those employees are not committed emotionally, they simply are not going to perform for you. They may perform to a level of compliance, but I would argue that there's a difference between compliance and commitment. And I would argue that you get better results from a fully motivated workforce than from a workforce that's been disengaged for a variety of reasons. So, good execution requires leaders to manage 3 interrelated and interdependent business components. No need to write these down. I will put them out. I'll put the notes out there for you. Again, good execution requires leaders to manage 3 interrelated and interdependent business components: people, strategy, and operations. Normally, executives devote a lot of time, money, and energy into developing a great strategy. They may do a good job aligning operations to support that strategy. But the most common set of problems stem from leaders' failures to align their people processes with the strategic priorities of the organization or business. Business school does a great job of teaching us to deal with numbers, but not such a great job of teaching us to deal with people. I also touch on that in my dissertation. So, in the big scheme of things, there are 5 alignment questions that you want to ask yourself as a leader. The first topic will be leadership and talent management alignment. How does leadership style, communication, motivation, commitment, and leader behaviors and/or actions create the workplace climate that's necessary for the organization to be productive? People are like kids. Employees are like kids. I say this all the time. They're watching everything the leader does. Now, this is what I'm going to call some Josephology here. This is my definition of corporate culture. Your corporate culture becomes whatever the worst thing is the leader allows to happen in that organization. If they see the leader stealing, employees will start stealing. If they see the leader arriving late and leaving early, employees will try the same thing. I have this really funny video that I usually show when I'm teaching this class in the classroom that I'll send to you all. The second topic, strategic alignment. How well are the strategic priorities transmitted, shared, or made consistent with the organization's values and behaviors in actions that transmit them? In other words, how well are your strategies informed or aligned with external market and the environment? The next item is cultural alignment. A lot of companies, and probably every company represented by bodies on this call tonight, have culture statements somewhere on their website or in some material that they've given you. But how is the real culture, not the stated culture, how is the real culture aligned with the values and beliefs of the employees? How are the internal processes linked so there is accountability for behaviors and actions that do not support the business strategy? The next area is performance alignment. How engaged and resilient are your people? Do the performance management policies, practices, and processes align to your day-to-day behaviors and activities? Do they match and support the strategic priorities? Have you created a high-performance culture? If not, how do you? And the last one is your customer focus alignment. How do the strategic performance and people processes align to successfully focus on the customer relationship? What is the value proposition telling you? Think about those things. And if you can answer those questions and lead your people through those types of scenarios, then you will do a great job at leading your organization, and you will fully understand how to get the most out of your people. Folks, I can talk all night long about leadership. To me, it's just as important as anything else on this earth. Are there any questions at all about anything that we've spoken about tonight?
No.
I look forward to reading your papers. I look forward to getting to know you through your papers. Again, welcome to OIL 650. Feel free to call me, email me, do whatever you got to do. I'm here to do the best job I can for each of you. If there are no questions, looks like I'll be talking to you all again week 3. So I'll chime in on your papers midweek or so. I say thanks to everybody and have a great night.
You too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And then
Thank
Mark,
you.
safe travels back home. All right, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Good night.
you.